What's going on, everyone? John here. Welcome back to another video. Today I'm going to be discussing top 3 reasons why people fail on a vegan diet. Now, I've covered this before in the past, but I haven't talked about it too much lately, so it's going to be fun. So whether you're a vegan or a person who wants to incorporate more plants into your diet, I think this video is going to be really useful. So stay tuned and let's get started. So the number 1 reason is health. So health is something that, most people today in this world do not take very seriously, right? Because when you look at the data, when you look at the statistics, we can see the rates of obesity and diabetes and cardiovascular disease just skyrocketing decade by decade. So it just shows us how culture is not really aware of healthy habits, healthy living, and nutrition and exercise. These are all things that are so crucial to our health, but no one is really paying attention. No one knows about it. So health is always going to be a main priority if you want to thrive on any lifestyle. So the number 1 mistake that people do is switching from the American or Western, processed food diet into a whole food diet. So replacing all the processed stuff with whole foods is going to be a shock to your body if you have spent decades eating a certain way, and then all of a sudden switching to a healthier diet. It is going to be a shock to your system, and a lot of people experience digestive issues because of that, and that is 100% normal. People think that just because you're feeling some symptoms that it's not good for you. That is not the case at all. And the way to avoid this is simply by trying to replace certain things that you're eating that are not plant-based with plant-based alternatives that are very similar in macronutrients to start, right? So that means cutting down on the fiber, like eating a low fiber plant-based diet in the beginning and slowly increasing the fiber and the whole foods that you're including into your system as your body and gut microbiome adjusts. So transition slowly, increase the amounts of fiber and plant matter that you're eating gradually so you don't run into any gut issues. That is going to be very, very important. So we can't really blame a plant-based diet as a whole because that doesn't make any sense, right? You can have a raw vegan diet where it's nothing but raw plant foods, nothing cooked, or you can have a 80-10-10 diet with 80% of the calories coming from carbs, 10% from protein, 10% for fats, which I don't recommend, by the way, unless you have heart disease or any issues that you're trying to reverse with a doctor. And you can do a vegan keto diet if you want to. So there's so many ways of eating a plant-based diet, and the reason I see most people failing is because they're eating a very restrictive version of a plant-based diet, such as a fruitarian diet, such as a raw vegan diets can be good, but for the most amount, like for the people who are not aware of how to do it properly, it's not going to work out. Basically, people are not eating a balanced diet and they're not tailoring a diet that is healthy and supports their body's needs. So some people react way better to a lower fat diet and a higher carb diet, and some people will be the complete opposite where they need a lot of fats and even saturated fats and to feel optimal, and lower amounts of carbs and protein. So it's really about experimenting, seeing how you feel good with different kinds of macronutrient ratios. So I believe in eating fats, I believe in eating carbs, I believe in eating protein, I believe in eating everything in abundance. We're not supposed to restrict anything. It doesn't make any sense to restrict a certain macronutrient. I just never saw a good reason to do that unless you're trying to, again, reverse heart disease or something like that. So I am a big fan of including a lot of fats into your diet because a lot of people run into issues when they have very low amounts of fat, like a lot of people that have come out publicly talking about how they failed on a plant-based diet. A lot of times they were on a very low fat diet, and that is very problematic. Our bodies need fat for hormonal health and so many other things. So get the fats in and experiment with how much fat you feel best on. Okay, let's move on to the second reason why I think a lot of people fail on a plant-based diet, and that is social pressure. This is something that I think a lot of people can relate to. Back in the day when you're at school, the peer pressure is real. We want to fit in, we want to do things that other people are doing, we want to be accepted, we want to be admired, whatever, like it's hard to do something different than everyone else. And to be honest, like the majority of people, like I said in the beginning of the video, are not considering healthy living at all. They're not taking into account what is healthy and what is not healthy in terms of nutrition. They're not, regularly exercising. So it's really hard to, distance yourself from the masses and do your own thing. because people are going to talk, people are going to make fun of you, make some jokes here and there. It can be hard to deal with these difficult situations, such as not being able to eat with your friends at barbecues that you have every weekend that you always went to, and all of a sudden you can't because now you're not eating any meat or anything like that. So it can be challenging with these social situations. If you have a strong enough reason for being vegan or eating a plant-based diet, then you have to remember that reason every time those social pressure situations come up. And also remember that in order to make change in the world, it has to start with you. You are the leader. You are the one who has to carry the torch. You have to be a leader. Like, we're all early adapters. This has not been done in any generation before us. So take responsibility and just go for it. Be the leader and set the example. And all the social stuff is going to get easier at the end, but it's something that you have to train and work through. And the third and final reason why I think a lot of people are failing on a plant-based diet or vegan diet is the mindset that people go into this lifestyle with. So there are a couple of different trends that I've observed, and a lot of these people I've observed do a lot of weird things online in terms of really criticizing, bullying, harassing people who are eating meat, really being hateful online and very aggressive towards other people who are not following the same lifestyle as they are, or being vegan basically. So these people went into the lifestyle for the completely wrong reason, right? They went in to feel better than other people, to put themselves on a pedestal. They went there to claim that they're helping the animals, but instead they're just doing everything they can to shit on other people. And unfortunately, there's a lot of people who take that path, and they're gonna continue to take that path after they are done with veganism. They're gonna find another thing to make themselves feel better and superior to other people. So this superiority complex thing I've seen a lot in terms of people failing on a vegan diet because they do it for the completely wrong reasons. They go into and claim to want to save the animals, but at the end of the day, they spend so much energy being hateful and negative online that they completely neglect their health, and then all of a sudden, wow, they have B12 deficiencies and they have no idea why. And on the opposite side of the spectrum, you have people who go into the plant-based lifestyle for health, and they follow one of these trends like a 80-10-10 diet or a other form of restrictive plant-based diet, and they go with that for health purposes, but then they run into issues because they didn't customize it and tailor to their own needs, right? If you want to sustain a plant-based diet long term, I think apart from all the health knowledge, you have to also consider other things and other benefits that comes along with eating a plant-based diet, such as the environmental benefits, the lack of, we all know that the animal industry is responsible for a lot of greenhouse gas emissions, a lot of pollution, and a lot of, like the main reason for animal extinction and forest or deforestation. And I'm from Brazil, and I see this happening. It's absolutely crazy how much of the Amazon rainforest is being cut down for cattle basically. And apart from the environmental stuff, I also think it's really useful for everyone, no matter what your beliefs and eating habits are, is to watch and learn how the factory farm system works, how meat is produced and ends up on our plate. I think that this is a responsibility that all consumers should take very seriously. We have to know how our food is prepared, how it's grown, and oftentimes what you'll find is going to be shocking because 90-something% of our meat is coming from factory farms. The living conditions in factory farms are horrendous. I don't know anyone who disagrees with me on factory farming. If you learn how your animal or how the animals that you're eating interact in the wild, how they naturally would live out their life, and then compare that to how we are treating them and how they are being raised right now, you're gonna see such a big contrast that you might feel way more empathetic towards animals and these sentient beings that we're putting on our plates than before. When you're actually spending time with these animals, like pigs for example, and playing around with them, petting them, seeing how they interact with family and friends, and you're gonna see so many similarities between pigs and dogs that you might change your perspective that way. And I think it's not like forcing yourself to see things that you shouldn't be seeing because we're meant to eat meat or something like that. I think you know, we should see reality. Like, why put blindfolds on? I don't believe in ignoring things and just following something because it feels right or it's something that's always been done. Why not look at reality and see how you feel about reality and then making changes based on that? That is my advice. Anyways, I hope that makes sense. Those are the 3 reasons that I could come up with from the top of my head this morning. I just figure I pick up the camera and hit the record button since I haven't uploaded it in a couple days. Hope you enjoyed it. Let me know what you want to see next. Hit the subscribe button if you're new around here, and as always, I'll see you very soon. Peace out.